Hi, my name is Shane. I use she and her pronouns, and this is our sixth session of Fate of the Fairy Queen. That means we are halfway through the game. Not sure if the characters are yet halfway to preventing the apocalypse, but I guess that remains to be seen. This is a reskin of Fate of Cthulhu from Evil Hat Games. This series was organized as part of the Gauntlet gaming calendar. If you want to find out more about the Gauntlet, which is an online community that plays and talks about a whole lot of role-playing games, especially Indian story games, you can check out gauntlet-rpg.com or at gauntletrpg on Twitter. At the end of March, we have Gauntlet Community Open Gaming coming up, which is a whole bunch of free one-shots or short games that are designed to be accessible for new Gauntlet players. And if you'd like to play with me and you're new to the Gauntlet, I have an open spot set aside for someone who hasn't played a regular game on the Gauntlet in April for Against the Dark Conspiracy. So if you want to play with me, check that out on the forums and shoot me a message. I will ask the players to introduce themselves and their characters now. So just your names, pronouns, and anything you want to tell us about either yourself or your character. And Jose, can I get you to lead off today, please?
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name's Jose, and my pronouns are he and him, and I'm playing Dr. C. I'm a psychiatrist, a New York-based psychiatrist who has a lot of patients that see into the fairy realm, and he takes them pretty seriously. And he's just made a bunch of new friends. It seems like it was just yesterday that he made these new friends, but there have been so many adventures already. So he's along for the ride and enjoying himself so far.
Nice. Matt?
Hi, Matt. Use any pronouns. I'm playing Shanad, playing Bear. Bear is an ex-rebel captain, not ex, I guess he still sort of is. And he had a bit of a crisis of faith last session. I think the fairy magic was really getting to him. He's usually pretty willful, but there are certain seductions that are very potent to him. And so he made a bit of a slip, but he was brought back to heel by his maybe commander at this point, with some very stern words and some very some support from the whole team. So yeah.
Cool, thank you. Kyle?
Yes, I'm playing Maeve, the changeling turncoat, who is joined the team, and I think did fairly well with the negotiations with the Rumpelstiltskin last time.
Yeah, I would say so. And Lowell?
My name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and I'm playing Fadim Bekara, she, her, who doesn't want to be in charge, like really doesn't, and yet these things are happening, and I don't know where we go from here with the true name. Like we have to figure that out.
You have the true name. Hang on, we'll get to the recap and where we're at in just a sec. But before we start, just a reminder, we are using a set of safety tools. So lines and veils are in the keeper. We've got the X card and the open door if you need to use any of those. Remember that you reset to your refresh value in fate points at the start of the session if you haven't done that already. And remember, well, I think we're also going to effectively start a new scene today, so you'll clear any stress that your character was holding on to. And to recap, your characters are in Berlin, where you had come to try and prevent the strange Fae murder of a kid named DJ Bug. And you learned that this sort of Rumpelstiltskin figure has been lurking around town, making these horrible, uncanny bargains with people, including Bug's mother, who claims to be a descendant of someone named Dr. Cifuentes, who fought the Fairy Queen. And you found out that Mrs. Rumpelstiltskin, Mrs. R, and her red cap, thugs and offsiders have their base in an abandoned theme park. And as we finished the last session, Maeve, standing tall with both the red shoes and Rumpelstiltskin by the collar, Bear has learned her true name. Bear, as you mentioned, had also had this little sort of temporary lapse to temptation, but has come back around. And that scene all happened in like this big public plaza. And I guess the first question is, do we want to continue there, or I think it's reasonable to assume that you'd set up somewhere, private where you could go and have a conversation or execution or whatever is the next step in the plan. Maeve, I think that you're like pretty much calling the shots at this point. Do you want to keep in the plaza, or is there somewhere nearby that you're going to take her?
Let's go somewhere private, I think.
All right. So just to like give you some choices here, you can invoke an aspect for a fate point to declare a story detail. And I think in this case, you could declare that it's like a secure location where you don't have to worry about her offsiders like catching up with you. Or you can save the fate point, and the risk you run is that some red caps or other Fae will come and try to interfere. What do you want to do?
I'll spend the fate point.
All right. And what aspect are you invoking?
I think the hounds have my scent, so I'm used to dodging and avoiding attention.
Absolutely. And so where is this scene? Are we in a hotel room, office space? Like what?
I think it's like a abandoned office space that's just sitting empty right now.
All right. And I assume that Fadim has come down from the tower, that you're all together in the room for this interrogation or whatever is about to happen. Is that right, or is anyone not wanting to be present for this?
I'm around.
I want to be there.
Okay. All right, I'm just checking. We don't have a line of Veil on Torture, but I don't think we'll get into too much. I might just pop a Veil on Torture to cover this scene. I'm not keen to get too explicit about that if we do head in that direction. So Mrs. R looks pretty crestfallen as I guess you like dump her into a chair in the room and sort of stand over her. What do you do?
I look to the others. Like anyone want to start? Any questions?
I pull out my phone and I walk over to Barris to whisper the name in my ear. Okay, and I'm tapping it into my phone. PLE.
Yeah, I don't think that you can type this word. It's like this combination of barely pronounceable syllables in some
You mean I can't post it to Reddit? Oh, damn.
I mean, you could record it as an audio, like as a voice memo. I think.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Bear's having a hard time saying it, I think.
Yeah.
Siri, search for.
Siri, search for.
You see Mrs. R like just cringe in the seat even at the barest whisper of the name.
And Dr. C says, I wonder what I have a patient who has a Reddit board that's full of fairy conspiracy theories. I wonder what would happen if we posted this name to that board. Tens of thousands of people would know. He has a lot of followers really fast. Do you think she'd like disincorporate right in front of us when all the contracts came to fail? What do you think would happen, Bear?
Well, we do know an author with a best-selling series on fairy lore, so
nice one.
We could tee that
You
up.
might want to know too.
Yeah, very confident for such ignorant fools.
Wait, do I hear someone speaking? Who is that? I hear a little voice. Who's that, Fadim?
You're muted, lol.
I will gesture to Dr. C and ask him to come over here.
Yeah.
And I will say, before this goes too much further, would you please call the author and give her the name? In case this all goes terribly wrong, she'll at least have that to get out of her contract.
That's prudent. Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Good call.
Did you want like tea, water, anything, Mrs. R?
That's very kind, Dave. I'll be fine.
Oh,
I don't expect that this will take very long.
probably not.
Well, Dr. C, I have something for you. The Queen sent you a gift. It is not in my nature to give without receiving an exchange, but the Queen's gift awaits you in a caravan at the center of the Spree Park, which is the amusement park where they've made their base.
It's one of those gifts freely given, right?
Yeah.
You can spit it out.
Look, it's a monkey's paw.
I hope I like my gift. If it's coming free, I'm a little suspicious.
What is Bug's bargain with you? Beyond the personal entanglement, since we know that that is a thing, but we know that there's a bargain separate from that.
He wanted to be famous, and I offered him that fame in exchange for his youth. I don't suppose we'll get to conclude that bargain now.
He'll never be famous. Shame.
Does the name just let us make you break any bargain? Can I just say break the bargain with Bug right now?
You can.
Does it have the effect I intend?
That is an extremely complicated question. Not sure we have time to consider all the ramifications. When you use the name, you can tell me which of my bargains you want me to end, or you can tell me to end them all.
End them all. End them all.
Wait, let's just take a second. Is there any reason we wouldn't want her to end them all?
Might have bargains in high places.
There's
Oh, yeah,
cinematic chaos that
Chaos.
what I would suggest, if I may, is that we figure out the bargains that we need to break. We know that we need to break them with a folklorist, with the author, and with Bug. Those are the ones we're interested in right now, Mrs. R.
Mhm.
And so we're willing to leave everything else alone,
Are we?
potentially.
Could be a lot of firstborns in there.
I don't expect to survive today. What happens to my bargains after that are no concern of mine.
She's very calm, isn't she?
I've always known that this day would come.
Are you a seer? Do you see these things? Or do you just know that these kinds of bargains always come home to roost?
The Queen told us that Dr. C would return one day, that I should give him this gift, and that on doing so, my life would end. She hates you the most of all.
Me? But I'm the least of these four.
You certainly are.
I'm just along for the ride. Why would she hate me so bad? The
Can you-
Dean's the leader.
Can you tell us what year Dr. C last thwarted the Fairy Queen using any human calendar?
It's 1,000 years ago. That's why she hates you. She holds the grudge. She left me on Earth to torment your descendants for generations. And that's what I've done.
Do you enjoy your work?
I enjoy it a great deal.
Do you want to keep doing your work in general? Let me just ask you that. Or
My work is at an end.
so you don't care if there a way for you to walk away from this that would not be anything you'd want to talk about.
I mean, I would entertain this if there was a way, but the queen would find me. I'm much more scared of her than I am of the four of you.
I don't like her stories. Can we kill her now?
Yeah, I'm surprised you're taking this long. I mean, especially you, Bear. Thorn is waiting in one of the caravans as well. The red caps normally like a beating death, but I told them to boil him first.
Is Thorn a friend of
They're
yours?
warming the oil now.
So eager to meet your end. What's that about? I take a menacing step closer. Now I know you're just provoking me. And I pull some sharp iron implement out of my bag.
Mhm.
Bear's like pulling all of his fairy killing stuff out of his pockets. But it won't be any less satisfying. Now, unless you all of a sudden feel inspired to make yourself more useful, I think our use of you has run short.
Wait,
I
we
don't
still
know
don't know
this.
about the shoes.
What
How
about
can we
them?
destroy the shoes?
I don't believe it's within your power to destroy them. I don't know that there's a way to destroy them.
Hmm.
What were you planning to do with the club?
The club opens onto Faerie. It's a passageway, a liminal point. That's where the dancing plague was going to enter your world with Bug as the sacrifice. Now you've deprived so many of your fellow humans of their, well, such a gentle and desirable death.
Have a good time, man.
I will say the red shoes we can deal with in a way. Maeve, it seemed to me like you wish to compel her to break all of her bargains.
I think so. If nothing else, it'll cause chaos, which is, I think, will benefit us more than the Fairy Queen.
And it'll hurt the Fairy Queen. And it'll hurt you. So why don't you go ahead and do that, Maeve?
These folks will lose things they hold very dear. Not saying you shouldn't, but
We lose everything in 5 years.
that is true.
All my descendants will be safe, but unhappy.
All right, break all your deals.
All right. I mean, I think that the moment is a bit anticlimactic. You know, there's not an explosion of magic or anything like that. And then after a few moments, you notice that she's starting to fade,
Look, it's
drifting
happening.
apart.
I am going to Google search for a hardware store.
Okay,
I don't know what the German for hardware is, but I'm looking it up.
sure. I'm sure that you find that fairly easily.
And then I wish to get, I say, I'm going to go get a big plastic pail and some quickset concrete.
Uh-huh.
And we're going to put those shoes in that. And we're going to put the concrete on it. And while that's not a permanent solution, it is a temporary solution. We can wrap iron around it or whatever to hide it later from the Fae. How does that sound?
Well, before you do that, I am going to compel bears in love with a fairy enforcer aspect here, or offer the compel. which is that you've been told that your love is about to be tortured to death in the Faerie base at the abandoned amusement park. So I guess the compel is whether you feel compelled to like deal with that immediately. So you can
Now,
take a
Dr.
fate point
C.
to do it now, or you can spend a fate point to let it rest.
Dr. C, what was she saying about a gift? Did you hear that?
I did hear.
Yeah.
Fairy gifts are dangerous. You've told me that before. You've told me that many times, Bear.
Well,
You two should go. Maeve, do you want to come with me or do you want to go with them? I will meet up with them later.
If the red caps give us trouble, you'll come, right, Faerie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maeve is as nasty as I.
Both of you will come then.
they're a couple of nasty girls.
Yeah, I'll go with you.
Okay. We're going to go get this taken care of because this is mission parameters. We're going to do it as quickly as possible, and then we will come to there. But I know, I mean, you're shaking, Bear.
I'm not.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And I'll say, why don't you go grab your equipment, Bear? And I want to like have a second to talk to Dr. C, like away from Bear. Say, please watch over him.
He was behaving strangely in the plaza.
His love is apparently in that park. That's what she said. Watch over him. This is not going to go well.
Will do.
And I think Maeve
Good
and I
luck with the
will,
cement
like,
shoes.
yes. Maeve and I will book. We're going to try and do this as fast as possible.
And so I just want to be clear on the plan. Is it like you're going to cement the shoes into a bucket and then just like leave the bucket somewhere, or dispose of
Oh
the
no, we'll take the
or-
bucket. We'll take the bucket with us for the moment. We'll figure out what to do with that later.
I
And
mean,
that may be
a bucket
dropping
full
it.
of hard concrete is going to be heavy. Like that's going to be a cumbersome thing to drag around.
It's going to be just enough concrete to cover the shoes.
Mhm.
Okay.
So maybe a foot. So that's maybe what, 30 pounds, I'm guessing.
I have no idea. I buy
Yeah.
that you can carry it around. It's just a little cumbersome.
Oh yeah, no, it's going to be awful. But my plan is that we're going to go out into the harbor,
Yeah.
and drop it overboard at some point.
Okay. But
We
you're
can
going
do
to
it in
carry
the
it with
Eastern
you into the
River.
Faerie theme park.
Yes,
Okay.
because I can swing it at somebody and that'll hurt.
Nice. So let me just grab you a link quickly.
As long as we don't leave it behind like we did the head.
Yeah.
That went so bad.
Oops. So that's like a giant link, but it should take you to a Google image search of Spree Park, just so you can see like the setting that we're heading into, which really is an abandoned East German communist era amusement park, which is in, like, you can go there now, you can just like hop the fence. It's in terrible decay. It's very creepy.
It is.
So this is where you're heading. The so let's see. Sorry, bear with me for one sec.
This rules. Oh, there's a big track going into a wolf's mouth.
Mm-hmm. All right.
The masked visitors are particularly creepy on the Google image search if you scroll down far enough.
All right. So I've got a Spree Park tab in the Keeper now.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
Not ominous at all.
That's a great
No.
background. You don't look at all like you're about to be eaten. The all right. So let's start. Well, let's start with Maeve and Fadim. So you're like heading around town, you're collecting hardware supplies, like that stuff's all pretty easy to do. Is there anything else that you want to do? You know, you've sent the true, you did send the true name to the author. Do you want to like update them? Do you want to talk to each other about what is going on? Like what happens?
Do we need to tell the author anything? I mean, I suppose we should burn down the club just to be safe, but
I think we can worry about that later. We tell the author just in case all of this is a trick.
Good point.
Yeah, we'll talk with Bug later, but I think we need to contain the shoes and go to the spree park, and then we can look at Bug.
Sounds good.
And so you get that stuff happening. You know, the cement. You've got this office space that you can use to mix it. Like that's not too hard. You'll catch up with the others in a little bit. So, Bear and Dr. C, is there anything that the two of you need to talk about on your way to the amusement park?
I have this
Nothing.
image of the two of us on the train, going out, or is there an underground? There's an underground in Berlin, right? On the train, and I don't know. I see Bear just staring fixedly straight forward, and and Dr. C kind of looking up at him like, is there something you want to talk about, Bear?
Hey, remember at the museum when you let that pixie out of the box?
I
And you got it
did.
back? That was brilliant.
Is that really what you want to talk about? It was cool though. You want to talk about Thorn?
Yes, a relic from another life. You heard me when I got up and read the spell aloud, and then I said, you know, I left him in another life. You hear me say that?
I did. Was that true?
I don't know. I don't think so. I'll try.
We'll find him. We'll find him, Bear. Is he a good guy though? Or he's a fairy, huh?
They don't think of things like that, good and evil. But he can be kind, gentle.
Does he love you?
I thought so. I still think so. He's not like the others. And I would know.
You've known many of the others. Many more than I have. But I'm going to keep my eye on him.
Please, I might need you.
I'm good at reading these Fae. I'll find out the truth. Maybe he does love you. But if he doesn't and he's playing a trick, I'll show no mercy.
Just I put my hand on your hand and I just say, just give him a chance.
Will do. This is our stop.
And so before long, you find yourself, you find your way to the break in the fence that Fadim mentioned to you, where you can get inside the park. If you look at the Spree Park tab in the Keeper, we've got a series of zones. You're going to start at the fence line and outer perimeter. And to get to the caravans, you need to navigate the Spree Park proper and the central plaza where the caravans are. So you climb inside the fence. You immediately notice that inside it is, there's lots of bushes and trees. Everything's very overgrown. No one's taking care of it. But it's also darker than it should be in here. Like it's the blackest night, even though I think in game time we're in sort of mid-afternoon. And you can definitely hear strange things rattling in the bushes and the trees. What's your approach? Are you like charging in headlong? Are you trying to be a bit surreptitious? What?
I think we're trying to be surreptitious, holding a little clover, one apiece, trying to ward off whatever might be closing in on us.
All right. Well, let's see. Why don't you go ahead and make a stealth check? Whichever of you has the highest stealth, with the other one helping, if that's.
I think
I'll
it's
help you.
available.
Mhm. All right. Let's see. Where did I put the roller? There it is. Oops. There we go. So it's going to be a +3 then. I hit it, but nothing's happening, at least on my end.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything.
Oh, sorry. I didn't have the dice roll in. All right, here we go. Try it again. Oh, it's a 0.
Let's see how the red caps roll.
Oh,
Oh.
that's good.
I mean, the red caps are very motivated to see you sneaking in there, I think.
They know we're coming, right?
Yeah. And just thinking about whether this is something that they're going to spend fate points on. No, I don't think they will. They are, I mean, their guards are denser in the Spree Park proper, so I think that's where they might start really looking for you. But the darkness is going to try and close itself around you as well. So let's see. How did I start this? The darkness is going to try and create an advantage here. I think it will target Dr. C, since you're the one trying to sneak around in there. So the darkness will try and create an advantage using disorient. And I think probably you can defend using notice. Or if there's something else that you want to defend with.
Would will work?
Yeah, why not? It's a bit of a creepy magical darkness. I think will make
Concentration?
sense. Yeah.
All right.
Can I help with that? It seems personal.
I don't think you can help with a defend roll.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. Here we go.
Oh,
Well,
nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
So
guess
the
I'm not that
darkness,
scared of the dark.
the darkness will spend a fate point to invoke its unearthly gloom, which will bring that up to a bare success, of a success by 1. Do you want to use do you want to spend a fate point to bring that up to a success?
So it's trying to create an advantage. Is that what it's trying? They're trying
Yeah, that's
to do?
right.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I'll use. Let me see if I have an aspect that will work. I would say Iron Fist and a Velvet Glove would work, and I can use 1 fate point on that to take me down to 3.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I mean, you definitely feel this darkness trying to like overwhelm you. Do you say anything about that?
Yeah, I turned to Barris. Do you feel that? There's an enchantment here trying to obscure my. It's trying to confuse me.
They do their best workings at night. That's when I always met him.
Well, I'm not feeling confused. So let's go forward.
All right. So you find yourself, you emerge from these overgrown bushes and trees into the part that used to be the amusement park itself. So, there are well, what we see behind Jose right now, we see, roller coaster tracks, we see, stagnant pools full of fiberglass swans and, odds and ends and things like this, lots of rusted out junk. I think I'll get you to, well, if you want to continue like sneaking across, make another stealth check to pass by the spree park proper.
Okay. Wow. I guess that's me again. A lot of rolls. Let's see. It's a 5.
Right. I'll roll defense for the red caps. They still will not see you. They're
Yeah,
not
super
even close,
sneaky.
are they? Okay, so at this point you can see
Dumb
that there are
red caps.
a lot of red caps around though. Like it's incredibly dark, but somehow you can still see things. It's almost like movie lighting where, the scene is blue lit. You can tell it's supposed to be pitch black, but we can still see distinctly everything that's happening here. The red caps are sort of milling around. You can tell they're on the lookout for someone, but there's also lots of stuff you can hide behind and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But you also see now that you're approaching that central plaza, which is much more sort of open, um, wide open ground. In the center of it, there's a half dozen caravans that are all hooked up to a central generator with big, thick cables running across the ground. And I think at this point, just because the time, we're close to Faerie here, time is a bit weird. I think this is where Maeve and Fadim catch up with you. But it doesn't really seem to me that there's a way that you can stealth across there. Like it's open ground, the red caps are everywhere.
So it's like a big plaza and the caravans are in the center. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So what will you do? Fadim and Maeve, you've definitely felt this darkness sort of trying to press itself in against you as you've made your way here.
Bear, do you have I remember the red caps are afraid of holy symbols. You don't have anything in your bag of tricks like that, do you?
Yeah, I think I've been humming a hymn under my breath, something about keeping the enemy away. The devil won't come for me today. And I'm like, it's not really my thing, but it works like a charm. So and I think that's contributing to the stealth a little bit. I mean, I did the holy water in the museum. I like this stunt, but I don't want it to just be my like free 3 invokes every time.
I mean, I think that any of you could spend a fate point to invoke their fear of holy things and declare as a story detail that you have a crucifix or whatever other sort of holy symbol you might want.
Did you guys pick up anything at the hardware store that was religious?
Could we have can we find some like rusted roller coaster rail spikes and tie them together with a bit of wire and fashion like a big cross? I'll spend a fate point for that, for the materials available.
Well, actually, I think I shouldn't have said that, because you're going to spend the fate point to invoke the fear of holy things aspect against them. Like that's where you're going to be using the fate points.
That's where we're going to use it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it. So it's like 2 swan legs, and they're tied together, in the shape of a cross.
Yeah. So Fadim has like somehow like used the concrete on the side of the bucket to draw another crucifix.
Yeah. So we're decked out.
And I think that you hear the sound of Thorn scream inside one of those caravans. I mean, Maeve, you're the infiltrator. What's your instinct about how to tackle a situation like this? Sorry, just one sec. I'm going to be right back.
Yes, Maeve. Because I'm going to send these red caps scattering.
I don't have a better plan.
Brilliant.
I'm just thinking we should somehow create some advantages before we go in to the melee, but we can do it during.
Sorry about that. Did any planning happen while I was away? No.
I'm going to scatter those red caps.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
So what's the plan?
Couldn't
Go
we lure
in.
them away and ambush them somewhere? Or should we just go straight in?
We could do that, but
You obviously know the park better than we do, though.
yeah, give Bear another 5 seconds and he's charging in. So I've got the cross, and I hear the sound of Thorn's anguished cries, and I start up singing, and it's basically a battle cry, and rush into the center of the red caps, swinging the cross around, trying to drive some of them back and not any of them close enough. And hopefully this is kind of a distraction to give my subtler allies some opportunity to do some sneaky things. But
All right.
so I could even be creating an advantage here.
If you want, do you want to do that? You're going to get the first turn in this initiative round.
I think I do.
Create an advantage using fight, because is that what it sounds like you're doing?
Yeah, I think if I might, I think that's what I'd like to do.
Okay, so they'll defend using fight.
I am feeling very rash, but I do also have a mind for tactics. So trying to be the bear here. It's a 3.
All right, I'll roll for the red caps. All right, so you charge into the middle of the red caps, and some of them start coming for you, but you have not created an advantage. Do you want to use a fate point?
Yeah, I will tap into their fear of holy things, and I'll be singing Swing Low, Sweet Chariot as I swing my cross around, trying to brain a few of them.
Nice. And is the advantage you're trying to create just called distracted red caps or something like that?
It's called Bear in Their Midst, or yeah, basically distracted red caps, scattered red caps, I think.
Okay, cool.
I'm trying to basically swipe them all around so that my allies have opportunities to like pick them off and do subtle strikes.
So that will get you 1 free invoke on the scattered red caps. You could spend another fate point to bring that up to a success with style and get another free invoke on it.
I'll just spend the 1.
Right. And who will you pass the initiative to? Just bearing in mind the parties are the 4 of you, the red caps, and the uncanny darkness.
Let's see if we can bring a few of them down before they go. I'll pass to Fadim.
All right. Fadim, what will you do?
I am running headlong into them, and I am swinging fists and striking them with whatever brass knuckly things I have, and I am just trying to absolutely create a center of devastation there amongst them.
Nice. Well, roll to attack.
Okay, so that's a +4, and I haven't had to roll yet, so let me get that set. Okay. So what's that? So that gets me a 5.
All right. I'll roll for the red caps defending. Oh, they've rolled a 7. Are you interested
Well,
in using some fate points here?
Yes. I am going to burn 2 fate points.
That'll bring you up to 2 shifts of damage.
Yeah, well, and let me tell you what I'm
Oh, sorry.
doing here. No, because I'm trying to sound like I'm smart, but I'm not. So I think that is the fallen field maiden, shield maiden of the Fae is my first invoke to get us to a tie, and then to get to the +2. I think what I'm actually going to invoke is a get this right. I had this right a second ago. I want to invoke the Queen's servants are ruthless and powerful because I was a servant and I am
Oh,
ruthless and powerful.
very good. Yeah.
So right now with 2 invokes, I'm at a +2.
Yep. So that'll, like, take out a couple of the red caps, but there's still quite a lot of them swarming around. Did you mark a box for the
I will mark
succeeding
that,
with
and
it?
that goes on the resistance.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've ticked another box on the resistance.
Cool. And who will you pass the initiative to?
I will pass it to the red caps.
All right. Well, the ones that you just attacked. So I've got 4. I'm treating the red caps as groups, and there are 4 groups of them, basically.
Mhm.
So one group is going to attack Fadim immediately. Rolling 4 to attack. Fadim, you want to roll to defend?
Yes, so +4. That's a 5.
Yeah, so you hit them pretty hard. They're not up to much. You're ducking and weaving. It's all good. They're going to attack Bear next, or a different group is going to come at Bear. They've rolled a 6 to attack Bear. You want to roll to defend?
Yes, do I do that with fight?
Yeah. Fight, or I think you can use athletics to defend if that's better in a melee attack.
It is better. And that's a 2.
All right, so you're going to
Ouch.
take 4 shifts of harm. Do you want to use any fate points? Or the free invoke that you've got?
I don't like using my own free invoke that I have to spend a fate point to get, but I guess I'll use it just to make sure the resources are used up. So they're scattered and they're easy for me to one at a time kind of throw off, but I think one of them gets their teeth in and I take 2 shifts.
All right, cool.
So it's 2 physical stress, right?
Yeah, that's right. If you want, you can make it a consequence instead, but there's no there's no benefit to doing that. It would be strictly worse for you, but it is an option if for some reason you wanted to.
No, I'll take it to the stress.
All right, and they're going to come for Dr. C and for Maeve back there in the Spree Park proper, not yet on the plaza. So one group is going to come for Dr. C first. And
No, come for me.
they've rolled a 0. Dr. C, do you want to roll to defend?
I will sure roll to defend, and I roll to defend. I'll call it stupid red caps. And since I have my stunt of evasion and they're giving me a physical attack, I get a +4 altogether. So let's see what happens. That's a 5.
The red caps are hopeless.
So I can see Dr. C kind of dancing between the red caps.
They're muttering and squawking at you. Okay, and the last little group is going to come for Maeve.
Was that with style? I think he gets a boost on defend with a success with style.
Thank you. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, all right. So what do you want to call the boost, Dr. C? Just a temporary advantage. Is it stupid red caps? Or you're muted.
Yeah, I was deciding between stupid and oafish, but stupid will work. Stupid red caps. That was the name of the roll.
All right. And Maeve, I will roll an attack on you as well. Wait, did I just roll it? I think I did. So they've rolled a 5 to attack you.
Got a 4.
All right, so that's 1 shift of harm. Do you want to take it? Do you want to spend an aspect? So spend a fate
I'll
point.
take it. I'll save my fate points. I'll just take the stress.
All right, so they will pass the initiative to the Uncanny Darkness, and the Uncanny Darkness will again try and overwhelm Dr. C. So it is going to roll to create an advantage. Let's roll a 6. I think we said you could defend using will. So that's going to be a success. Do you want to use a fate point to bring that up to a tie? So you're muted.
Muted.
What's a tie when creating an advantage? It's
I think they get a boost. Let me just check.
They get a boost.
I believe create an advantage on a tie. You don't manage to create an aspect, but you do get a boost.
And if I take the 2, I would take 2 shifts in mental
You're not
stress?
taking any harm for this.
Oh, okay.
If they succeed, they're going to create an advantage that's called disoriented, and they'll have a free invoke on it.
I see. And that's specific to me or to all of us?
I guess it would be specific to you.
Okay. But they would still get a boost, and I could make the same boost, right?
Sorry, I'm not sure what you mean.
Like if I spend the fate point, they go up. It goes up to a tie. They get a boost. They could call it the same thing, right? Disoriented.
Yes, but they wouldn't be able to keep using it. It would go
They
away
wouldn't be
after.
able to keep using it afterwards. Okay. I will. I'll take the disorientation.
Right.
So I should put that in a. Oh, it will be.
I got it. All right, and the Uncanny Darkness then, I guess, will reluctantly pass the initiative to Maeve.
I'll shoot some red caps.
Yeah. Are you going to shoot the ones that are the nearest to you, or do you want to help out any of your teammates who are closer to the caravans, or what does it look like?
I think I'll shoot the ones nearest to me.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and attack.
2.
All right. I'm just going to roll their defense. Oh, that is 4 shifts of harm. They're gonna. I'm gonna spend a fate point to try and save some red caps here. They're gonna invoke the aspect rusted out roller coasters and Ferris wheels. They're just gonna like duck and dodge behind some of the stuff that's sitting around. Do you want to bring a fate point to try and bring that back up?
Yes. I'll spend one on always have a go bag because I'm shooting out off like a lot of ammo.
Yeah, nice. All right, that'll be enough to take them out. They won't be able to absorb that much harm. So Maeve, in a big like hail of gunfire, really taking out some of the red cap mobs. And then that takes us to the, oh no, sorry, it'll be Dr. C's turn because you're the only one left in the initiative order.
So 2 groups of the red caps are, one's scattered, the other ones are out.
I mean, they're all scattered because that's an aspect.
They're all scattered because of Bear.
But there's some that are more directly attacking you. There's some that more directly attacking Bear and Fadim. Maeve sort of bought herself some time.
I think Dr. C feels like the greater threat right now is the darkness than the red caps. And so he wants to, okay, is it going to be create an advantage or is it going to be a mental attack?
So just to let you know, you can't, the darkness is not attackable, but you can create an advantage that you can use against it.
Okay. So I think I'm going to want to create an advantage. I think Dr. C remembers something about these kind of darknesses and their fear of the sun, and he also remembers something that he could possibly do to bring the sunlight through. So let's see if it works, and then I can narrate it. So I guess that's an advantage with lore.
Yeah.
Oh, I can spell. All right. So it's a 6.
All right. So the darkness will roll to resist, roll to defend. And it's a
Whoa!
7. So
+5.
yeah, the darkness is pretty tough.
The darkness is tough. I will use a fate point to, let me see if I've got an aspect that makes sense here.
Uh-huh.
I guess my high concept, attuned to the supernatural, could work. So I'll spend a fate point there. That brings me down to 2. So that makes a success, right?
Oh, that's right. So you create an advantage. So you create an aspect with a free invoke on it. So give it a name. What's your aspect called?
The sun breaking through, I'll call it.
Cool.
And
All right.
yeah,
And
I think Dr. C is kind of chanting some kind of sun chant that he
nice.
knows from some tradition that is calling the sun through. Here comes the
Yeah.
sun. Yeah, that's what I should have called it.
The red caps will be like howling in pain and distress at this solar liturgy. That's the end of the initiative order. Let's take our break here. But before we go to the break, tell us who is going to take the first action in the next round, Dr. C.
I think it makes sense to take it back to Bear, who was the first to begin with, right?
All right. So we'll come back in about 10 minutes and we'll see. We'll go back to Bear.
Perfect.
Cool. All right. See you soon. Cool. Are we all good to continue? All right. Well, Bear, the initiative is with you. You're in the central plaza, scattered red caps all around you, and one of a half dozen caravans that are nearby has your lost love in it. What are you going to do?
Does it seem like I'm outmatched or outnumbered by these red caps? Like, is this a threat?
I think that the red cap are like disposable cannon fodder, to be honest, not to
That's
ruin the
kind of
drama of this scene. Um,
no, it's okay. That's what I was thinking. I mean, many of them could be an avalanche, but I'm kind of, kicking through them, sort of thing.
yeah, like if you want to try and draw all of their attention onto you, then maybe that's where you would get to use that.
uh, I kind of more think that I'm gonna go. What kind of carriages are these, or caravans, or what did you call
Yeah,
them?
so they're like they look pretty old and battered, maybe from the early 90s or even older than that, but they're, the kind of caravan that people might ordinarily holiday in.
So to my Canadian ears, this might be an RV or
Sorry, is caravan the Australian word? I apologize. Yes, it could well be something
and English. So
I was like, are we talking cloth covered here? Like, can I tear the canvas off of this caravan?
There are no camels.
It did not occur to me for 1 second that was anything but the word that everyone uses.
I love that. I love when that happens so much. All right, I'm gonna go kicking through some red caps and rush over to the one that sounds like it has cries coming from it, because red caps are red caps, and there seems to be more somewhere else, so I got to get to them.
Okay, so I mean, in terms of what you're going to do on this turn, is your focus on dispersing the red caps a little more, or is your focus on trying to figure out which caravan has thorn in it?
I think it's on trying to figure out which one has thorn in it and
All right.
which one has, yeah.
Sure. So, like, fictionally, for sure, you're like kicking these red caps hither and thither, but mechanically, what you're going to do is a notice check to identify the caravan. I reckon a difficulty of 2. Like, it's not too hard, but it is, things echo around in here. It's not super easy to figure out which one it is.
All right, here goes.
All right. A tie to overcome. I think that means you do, but it puts you in a bad position. Is that what?
That sounds cool.
Yeah, you succeed at a minor cost. You're in a tough spot. So yeah, I mean, I think that in that case, what happens is that you think you know which caravan it is. You kick that door open. As you sort of stand on the threshold, you recognize it's bigger on the inside than the outside. It's the angles don't quite add up. It doesn't make sense. You see Thorn, in a cage hung over a vat of boiling oil. The steam is burning him. But you also find just inside that caravan is a huge crowd of red caps, and you are suddenly outmatched and outnumbered. But you won't be able to take advantage of that until your next turn.
Of course.
But who will you pass the initiative to?
So if I say the red caps, that now includes all the red caps in front of me.
Yeah.
I guess I'll pass to Maeve.
All right. Maeve, you're in like a decent position. You've taken out the red caps that were sort of directly at you, although there's probably some more coming your way. What do you want to do?
I'll shoot at the next nearest batch.
I mean, that'll be the ones attacking Dr. C. So yeah, go ahead and make an attack roll.
All right.
You definitely all seen you run off.
5.
All right, I'll roll their defense. Sorry, red caps. All right, they're not in a position to, unless they don't have any free invokes that they could use here, do they? They do not. So okay, you deal. How many shifts of harm was that? 4 shifts of harm. You take out the red caps that were attacking Dr. C.
Nice.
Thank you.
And I think that what we see is that, you know, amongst the red caps that are still alive, several of them have sort of abandoned the fight to run over and dip their caps into that pool of red cap blood that's spreading on the ground, soaking their hats fresh. And Maeve, who do you pass the initiative to?
Let's go to Faerie.
Well, you still have a few red caps attacking you. What are you going to do? Are you muted?
I'm convinced that that this is going to go badly once Dr. C opens his gift and or Bear meets his match. So what I am going to do is I'm essentially doing the kind of provoke thing to essentially make it clear to the remaining red caps that, and anything that is around, you need to move, you need to leave, you need to go. We have this fight is over for you. We want to be done with this, and essentially try to create advantage, just kind of body language, forcing them in a direction. Does that seem cool?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Roll to create an advantage using provoke.
Okay. But I get to use fight.
Oh,
because
nice.
that is my stunt.
Awesome.
I like being able to use my stunt. So so that will still get me to just a 2 on the create advantage there.
All right. I don't think I don't think that they're allowed to use their fight to defend this one. So yeah, you will actually succeed with style there.
Okay.
So what's the advantage that you create called, or the aspect you create?
Better part of valor, I think, for them.
Nice. With 2 free invokes. All right. It's just so demoralizing as a GM to watch you stack up these free invokes and know that none of my NPCs will succeed for the rest of the scene.
Oh, the fate dice are fickle. That could turn on a dime.
All right. So yeah, you definitely like these scattered red caps. You see that some of them are starting to fall back, starting to retreat, disappear, running
Your
down.
mistress is gone.
Yeah, like plunging into the giant gaping maw behind Jose to run back into Faerie down the roller coaster tunnel. But there's still more than enough around to create some problems. Fadim, who will you pass the initiative to? You're muted again.
What? Red caps.
All right. So let's see. The ones attacking Dr. C and Maeve are gone. There's still some. The boldest of them are still willing to attack you, Fadim. So let's see. I'm going to roll an attack for them on Fadim. Oh, it's a 5.
It's a 5. I will defend with fight.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 5.
Do they? I think that means there's no damage, but they get a boost. Is that right?
Yeah, I think the attacker gets a boost in that case.
All right. So
that's fine. I like the idea that I'm like tangled up with like the boldest, biggest of these red caps, and that we're actually exchanging like actual blows, and I'm having to actually concentrate on what I'm doing. Plus, he's got big old red cap teeth.
All right, the biggest one has Fadim in his grasp. That's what I'm going to call the boost.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, and I
And
didn't invoke any of the free ones because I wanted to leave that for my group. So that's why I did that, everybody. So
all right. And some more red caps then are going to attack Bear. In fact, a huge, overwhelming number of red caps are going to attack Bear. So I'm again just going to combine a couple of the groups together and let them roll a big attack using fight. They've rolled it quite badly, but they've rolled a 5 to attack. I think they're all getting in each other's way. They all want to be the one to take you out. So roll your defense. Look, if now's not their time, I don't know when will be. So they're going to invoke their weird little killers aspect for 1 fate point, which will still... Wait, how many shifts ahead are you? So that brings it to a tie. And then they're going to invoke... Well, they're going to spend a fate point to invoke the uncanny darkness, which also makes it easier for them to get at you. So that'll bring them up to a success by 2 or 2 shifts of harm. Do you want to use any fate points or any of those many free invokes to bring that back down?
What are our freebies? We've got stupid red caps boost.
You got the better part of valor, like that's the sort of demoralizing way that Fadim has spooked them.
And is there 2 on that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll use one of those. And be
That brings
very
it back to a
well.
tie, which is them not harming you but getting a boost. Do you want to use another, either fate point or free invoke?
They can have a boost.
All right. So I think that I'm going to call the boost like Bear is buried in a pile of red caps. Like they're just all over you. Is that all right? All over you. I think that'll do.
Yeah. I like buried bear too. That's cute.
Buried Bear. Okay, we'll go with that.
But all over you is probably a better wording for a boost.
It's
but
all right.
whatever.
We'll remember. Buried Bear. And let's see. I think the red caps then, of course, will pass the initiative to the uncanny darkness. Oh wait. Well, they're just not smart enough to think tactically, I think. So they will just pass it to the uncanny darkness. And now that you've gotten so close, the uncanny darkness is going to come for you, Bear. So it is going to try and create an advantage by disorienting you. That's a 4. So roll to defend using either notice or will.
All right. I've got 2 will. Yep. Here goes. Oh.
All right. So it's going to succeed with style there. Do you want to use either fate point or some of your free invokes? The sun breaking through one was meant to be specifically about the darkness, so that could be a good choice.
Where did that come from? That aspect?
That was Dr. C's like chanting some traditional solar sort of spiritualist lyrics.
It's from Dr. C, huh? Thinking of the thematics here. Yeah, I guess I can use that. This can be some dramatic irony. And then I'll spend one of my own. So would this go to mental stress?
There's no stress in this. It's trying to create an advantage if it succeeds. It's going to create an aspect.
Yeah, yeah, that would be an aspect, huh?
So you still got quite a lot of free invokes there. Or you can spend a fate point to use one that doesn't have a free invoke on it.
I'm up because of the compel, so I'll spend one. Let me have a look real quick. Oh, it'll be fun to invoke no more happily ever after, but I don't think that's for now. Okay, I don't see a timeline aspect. I don't have a really spree park. Sorry, taking too much time here. I don't see an easy invoke.
I mean, if you wanted to use one of the free, well, I mean, you could spend a fate point on one of the ones that has a free invoke on it if you don't want to use the free invoke, but you still want to invoke that aspect.
That's true. What is better part of valor a reference to, or what does it mean?
They're sort of demoralized. They're falling back.
Hmm.
And you also scattered them before. You can still spend a fate point to invoke scattered red caps.
Right. This is for the darkness though, right? So
Yeah, right.
I think I'll spend one to invoke better part of valor, and both the sun will be breaking through, and I think I'll like stand up strong in the face of the darkness that I've felt pushing in on me many a year and the darkest timeline. So go down to 3 and be up 1 on it.
All right. So it will not succeed in creating an aspect. The poor darkness just not having a good time of it, but we'll have to pass the initiative to Dr. C. And what will you do?
So I have an idea, but you tell me. I have no idea what it would mean in terms of a roll, so you'll have to help me with that part.
Okay.
So my idea is that on this plaza, one of the attractions, is that what they're called, is a house of mirrors. It is all shattered. And so I think what Dr. C's idea is, and there's these little isolated sunbeams coming through the darkness, right? Is to try to get a sunbeam to shine down upon the house of mirrors to try to amplify it. And so I guess it's the continuation of the chant, but I'm positioning myself in the broken hall of mirrors.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is just fictional positioning, which is awesome. I don't mean to just is the wrong
No,
word.
but I'm not sure what to roll.
Yeah, so I think it's create an advantage, and if you succeed, you'll add a free invoke to the sun breaking through. Does that sound right?
But what skill do I use? Lore?
What skill? I mean, maybe athletics makes sense.
Athletics, okay.
Maybe craft. I can't remember quite what all the skills are. Yeah, craft, athletics.
I guess I do have to run across broken glass to get there. So maybe athletics would be good. All right. Where's that thing? So it's a 1.
All right, so I'm going to roll to defend for the darkness, or to prevent you from creating an aspect. So it's up by 2.
Okay.
Do you want to use any of your free invokes or fate points?
If I make a tie, then I get an aspect. I just get a boost.
You get a boost,
right?
Yeah.
But I'd have to probably spend a boost to get a boost. So I'd have to do 2 things in order to.
In order to get another free invoke, yeah, you'd need to invoke 2 aspects.
Yeah, it doesn't seem mechanically worth it because I'd have to use one of them probably and fate points to get the same thing.
Yeah,
spending.
I mean, I think that like the fictional positioning still for sure happens. Like you're so I imagine you like dragging around these fragments of mirror, like amplifying the sun. It is starting to like beat back the darkness, but you're probably not going to get a mechanical benefit out of that.
Okay.
That's awesome.
I will pass then to Fadim.
All right, Fadim, what do you do?
I think that what I'm going to do is this place around here is like junk and wreckage and garbage and things like that. Then I think what I'm going to do is grab up some detritus to like set on fire. And essentially I'm going to take a flaming bucket of garbage and start just kind of like I'm using that to push back at the darkness. I want to create an advantage against it to
Right.
kind of push it back. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I'm still locked up with this goddamn
Well, I
red
was going to
cap.
say this is going to be impressive while you're grappling a huge red cap.
Yeah, let's take care of the red cap first.
All right.
But I think Vadim has already got to the next step, and then like realizes that there's this mouth at her throat. She's like, "Oh shit, yeah, I've got to do this."
Are you going to are you doing this, or are you wielding the bucket of concrete like a weapon?
Oh yeah, I think this is the point at which I pick it up and I start swinging that around now.
Yeah, nice.
All right, I'm going to roll fight. It has a boost against me.
Cool.
I'm walking in with a 6.
All right, let's see how it goes. So that's a 4, and it will use its boost to bring that up to a tie.
Okay. Are there any free invokes left on mine, or have they been used?
Let's see. You've still got a free invoke on the better part of Valor.
Then let's throw that in to push it up.
All right. So that will do 2 shifts of harm.
Just bring this stupid bucket of concrete and red shoes across his forehead.
Yeah. Well, you leave the red cap just lying in a pool of his own blood, and you notice how quickly the cap on his head absorbs it. Who do you pass the initiative to?
Want to get them out of the way now. So let's pass it to the red caps.
All right. So there's definitely like scattered red caps all over the place. A lot of them, demoralized and fleeing, as we established. But I think that all the ones that are left are currently like in a pile on top of Bear. So the ones on top of Bear are going to make their attack. That's a 5 to attack. They are going to use their boost of Buried Bear. Only makes sense. So their attack roll is a 7, Bear. You want to roll to defend?
Oof.
That's 5 shifts of harm. Do you want to use some of those free invokes or fate points?
I think so. So did the sun breaking through have 2 on it, or
One of them's been used.
one of them's been used? I'll use stupid red caps. They are truly.
Sorry, let me just check because I think that was Dr. C's boost. Are you happy for Matt to use that one? Cool.
Thank you, Dr. C. Thank you, my dear. So yeah, they're just making a mess of it. They're climbing all over each other. They're taking bites out of each other. And then I'm gonna spend a point, and I'm gonna invoke Gaping Maws and Winding Tunnels. And I think I'm in the doorway of the RV, or of the caravan, and they're kind of all piling on top of me, and I'm like falling back onto the ground or whatever. Or maybe they pulled me inside, but I think I'm grabbing them and I'm throwing them out of the RV into these like tunnels that there's a roller coaster that dips down into the earth, and I'm just throwing them into the various mouths of all of these painted creatures.
I love this scene of Bear just like coming to his feet and fleeing off the mountain of red caps that had piled on top of him.
And a bunch of them fall. So that brings me up to a 6. It's still a shift of harm, which would equal 1 stress.
That's right.
Okay, I'm gonna take the 1 stress and go up to 3 out of 4.
Cool. And I think the red caps just always are going to pass to the uncanny darkness. And I think that this time the uncanny darkness is going to come for Fadim. Let's see if it can create an advantage. Whoops, I almost rolled with a plus 65 modifier there. Okay, it's rolled a 3 to create an advantage. We talked about using either notice or will to defend.
All right. I will go ahead and roll with that since they're the same.
All right, so that's going to be a success by 1.
I am going to, when it's coming at me, it's a magical thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, technically, I have a magical weapon, and that is a bucket full of red shoe and concrete. So I think that even in this state, it's probably super alluring. And I'm going to swing that around, and I'm going to invoke. I'm going to spend a fate point, and I'm going to invoke uh, resist anything except temptation,
Nice.
and try to draw its attention as I'm kind of spinning around centrifugal force like a kid with this bucket.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
And that'll take me to a 4.
All right. So the darkness will fail, and the darkness will pass the initiative to Maeve. What do you want to do, Maeve?
I don't know if I can do anything about the darkness. So I guess I'll take a shot at the red caps.
Yeah. Do you want to, like, are you using your gunfire to try and take them out, or to create an advantage?
Take them out, I think.
Right. Well, cool. Go ahead and roll your attack.
2.
All right. They will roll their defense. So they will take 1 shift of harm.
All right.
Do you want to? So you like this? This is a big pile of red caps that are mobbing Bear at the moment. That'll be enough to take out, 1 or 2 of them. You're getting some good shots off. Do you want to start spending fate points or using aspects to increase the damage?
Yeah, I'll spend another fate point to use my always have a go bag aspect again and just unload into the pile.
Nice. All right. So you're definitely like picking them off, Bear. Like the shots are coming in like quite close to your head, but precisely targeted, picking off red caps all around you. And Maeve, do you want to use another aspect, or is that you ready to pass the initiative?
I'm running low on fate points. I'll save
All right.
what I have left.
And do you want to pass to Bear or Dr. C?
Bear.
All right. Bear, what will you do?
I think it's time to go bust this cage open. If I can.
Yeah, so you're gonna overcome. I think. Well, I mean, are you going to use your bare hands? What are you actually going to be doing? There's a big padlock on the cage. You can see that the cage is hanging over this steaming vat, so the metal is going to be hot.
Well, I don't have any more physical stress to take. I'll take like a layer of clothing and just with my bare hands try to pry bars open, I think.
All right. I think that's going to be overcome using physique.
That is going to be physique, which is probably going to be challenging. But I got to do it.
And I think the difficulty is going to be 4. Like, it's a pretty solid cage.
That's tough.
Thorn looks at you and howls in pain as you contemplate what to do.
Yep. Let's give this a go.
It's like you're pulling with all your might. You feel that it's almost there. Are you able to invoke anything to make that a success?
I'm going to invoke In Love with Thorn, a Faerie enforcer.
Yes.
Yes.
You pop the cage open and he sort of scrabbles out, burnt, steaming, singed, falls on the floor in a heap before you.
I begin to carry him outside and then we can cut elsewhere.
All right. And Dr. C, you're the last one in the initiative order. There's just a few red caps left sort of straggling around. What do you want to do?
So just a few red caps scattered around. So well, but the darkness is still there. Um, and what is our situation? Sorry, with our aspects.
You have one free invoke
This one.
available on the sun breaking through.
Okay. Hmm. I guess I could attack some red caps, but not really my strong suit.
I mean, you could also try and find, you could use your action to search for the gift that the queen
Oh,
is said
right.
to have left for you.
That's kind of scary. I think I'll just go for the remaining. Try to create one last advantage on the remaining.
I'm going to compel you.
You're gonna compel me.
I'm going. I think as a fellow player, I think I'm going to offer you the fate point. I think that this is most definitely a twist of fate, that you found out that your ancestor did this before. Found out that, I mean, I think that I have to push you that direction.
Well, I think I have to accept that then.
Okay,
You're
I will
right.
spend a fate point and give it to you.
Even though Bear warned him to not accept gifts from Fae, he's
Right.
too intrigued to go. So he's gonna go looking for the caravan. Because didn't Mrs. R, did she describe the caravan where it was the gift was? I
I
can't
mean, not
remember.
specifically, but so it'll be a search or roll or a notice roll, I guess. Is there investigate maybe something like that?
Okay. Yeah, I don't have anything in any of those, but I am compelled. So I will go forward to search for my
Yeah.
gift.
I think the difficulty is two to find it, quickly.
Okay.
Certainly you'll find it given enough time. All right. Do you want to
0.
use an aspect to bring that up to a tie, which will be a success that leaves you in a bad position?
I like the sun breaking through. I imagine a light beam shining upon the caravan that has my gift in it.
All right. So that uses the last free invoke. So a success that puts you in a bad position. All right. So you find the caravan, you throw open the door. Again, you see the same sort of thing, that it's larger inside, that it's not the same space inside that it was outside. But I think the bad position that you're in is that you see the box that contains your gift, and the box is a coffin.
Oh my. That is bad position.
Very, very ornate, beautifully designed and wrought. I think maybe we will leave the initiative order here. Like, there's scattered red caps. I imagine Maeve hanging back and picking them off as they flee. But I think we're basically out of combat here, and can maybe just move out of that. Does that work for everyone? All right. So before we go to these scenes, so Bear is in one caravan with, his former fairy lover. Dr. C is in another caravan with his gift from the Queen. So I'll ask each of Fadim and Maeve whether you're joining one or the other of those, or hanging back, or what you're doing. Maeve, what are you going to do?
I'm going to join Dr. C.
All right. And Fadim, what will you do?
I will rush to back up Bear.
All right. Let's start with Bear. So you drag him out. Fadim comes over to meet you. And, the age of the Fae is not marked in years the way that human ages are, but you see that this, you've met him in your past, but that's still in his future. So he doesn't seem to recognize you. What do you do?
I think first I'm caught up, and I'm like doting on him, and I'm using his name as though I know him, and I'm a little frantic, and I'm checking him for wounds, and I'm doing it all with like a bit more the kind of touch that you would use with a lover. Until that seemed strange to me.
I think I may step and maybe just get a little bit of distance between the two. I say, why don't you introduce yourself to him, Bear?
He knows me.
Shh. No, he does not.
And I kind of am noticing the lack of recognition in his eyes. Oh, that Mrs. R and her bargains and her deals. Should have known. Thorn. Yes? Is it?
He reaches out a finger and he pokes you in the face. Not aggressively, but as if he's just like trying to see what sort of material you're made of. And he said, you know, you are human. What? Why did you save me from the cage?
You must know the strange workings of time, as the Faerie Queen would have it. I know you.
What do you know?
I go, I want to step away. And I will step back. If he wants to say anything like private or super secret or true namey or stuff, I want to step back away so I am not overhearing this.
I know the lands you grew up in. I know the tales you tell of your family. I know the taste of your lips. I know many things about you. And now I can see that you know none of them about me. She is cruel.
I think that he is pretty overwhelmed by this situation. Still quite hurt, although recovering fast, much faster than a human would. Says, "Oh, you know the taste of my lips, but I don't know the taste of yours."
I'm not too good with the time thing, but I get the feeling that you will know it, but you don't now. Well, we might be changing things a little bit. That's what we're here for. I mean,
Curious. I've never had a human before. Yeah.
I know I was your first.
It's been a long time since I had a first anything.
Oh, your hair, look what they did to you. And I start doting on him.
I mean, I think that generally he's gonna start saying that he should get back to Faerie. He doesn't. This world's not as comfortable for him. He can heal properly back in his own world.
Before you go, I know the contents of your heart, and I know some of the things you told me in confidence that you'd never tell her or your other colleagues. When the time comes for you to make the decision, to choose a side, play your odds. That's fair. All should. But listen to what your heart says, even if it doesn't have me to coax it.
Interesting.
Can I make an empathy roll or something?
Yeah, I was just thinking about what the role that would be appropriate here might be. I think empathy makes sense. To create an advantage, maybe that will like hang there for the final rise of the Faerie Queen and maybe undermine one of her allies.
Yeah, I think he said some things to me that revealed the possibilities. That's why I trusted him, because I knew it could be trickery, but I don't know. I'll make the roll. It's a 2. I'll spend a point.
Well, wait, he hasn't
Oh, I don't
defended.
even.
I'm not
Yeah.
even sure if he would defend. Well, I guess he will because he will not be inclined to betray the queen. So let's see what his resistance is like. All right. He succumbs. You, in fact, succeed with style and create an advantage with 2 free invokes on it. Shall we call the advantage Thorn's loyalty or something like that? Thorn's heart?
Yeah. Yeah.
So not likely to be useful in the immediate future, but at some point in the game, that will come back.
Sweet.
All right. Thank you. And Dr. C, with Maeve at your back, you look across the room at this coffin that you believe the Fairy Queen has left for you. What do you do?
Dr. C is compelled. His curiosity is awoken, and he's moving. He's walking up to the coffin, and I can see that there's maybe not a lot in the room other than the coffin. So, and kind of like I see like a little spotlight, that little sunbeam coming through.
Yeah, absolutely.
And and then he steps up to the ornate coffin. You said it was ornate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I assume it's shut, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And he looks over his shoulder at Maeve, and he puts his hand on the lid of the coffin, seeing if she's freaking out or not.
Maeve, what are you doing?
I'm gonna point a gun at the coffin in case something comes out.
That seems to reassure Dr. C a little bit, and so he'll open up the. Actually, maybe he'll just crack it just a little bit and try to stick an eye in.
All right. Well, you see that there's a body inside.
Ooh. That doesn't sound like a very nice gift. I think there's someone inside.
You're gonna open it all the way?
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and open it all the way.
All right. So you definitely recognize the person inside, much older, but that's undoubtedly you.
What?
That's the first surprise. The second surprise is that you realize that that body is not dead, but asleep.
Shit. It's me, Maeve. Only I'm old. And yeah, I put my hand up to because I noticed the breath going in and out of his lungs, and I put my hand up and take his pulse, and he's alive too. Old and alive.
The pulse is weak, but definitely there.
Is this your Dr. C?
Actually, that's a good question. Do I recognize this one?
I mean, much the same. It's definitely Dr. C, but it's older even than the version that you remember.
I
should say he's older. It's older.
You slap him? Hey!
Yeah.
Why are you slapping me?
Trying to wake him up.
He does not wake up.
He needs a kiss to wake up from an enchantment. This is an enchantment. An enchanted sleep if I've ever seen one. Where's Bear?
I'll do it. I lean in and kiss him.
I think it has to be a true love's kiss, but you can try.
I don't think that Maeve's kiss is gonna do the job.
That didn't work, Maeve. Thank you for trying. Let's go find Bear. So I get to the door of the caravan, and I yell, "Bear!"
So Bear and Fadim, do you head over?
Right before we do, I kind of give a look to Fadim after Thorn leaves into the abandoned woods. I say, "Well, do you like him?"
Are you asking me that question seriously?
Yeah, yeah.
No, he's a fae, and we need to destroy them all.
Mm.
But remember, you asked me that. Let's go.
I hear someone calling.
Let's take a 5-minute break here and we'll come back at the top of the hour and probably finish up fairly soon after that.
Okay.
Sounds good. Forgot who I was talking to there for a moment.
All right, are we all good to continue? So Bear, you have just said farewell, for now at least, to your lost Fey love, and you've been called over to one of the other caravans where Dr. C, what do you say to Bear?
So when Bear enters the caravan, Dr. C's at the coffin, staring down into the coffin, and he turns around and says, "Bear, I found my gift. Did you find your lover?"
I found Thorn. Yes, he's gone now.
Oh. My gift is asleep. I think my gift might need something from you. Come here. You're right. He is a silver fox.
Oh, yes, that's a nice beard. What is it that you need?
This is a sleeping enchantment on your friend Dr. C.
Oh, I don't think I have anything for that.
No, it needs true love's kiss.
Awkward.
Oh,
Maeve tried it and it didn't work.
I just don't know if I'm in the
You are going to let him stay there asleep in a coffin? This is your friend.
All right, I'll do my duty.
Well, don't make it sound so awful.
He is handsome.
He is. A silver fox, you said.
All right, it's like one of the tales. Let's see what I can do here.
Nadine, did you want to say something? You have a look on your face.
No, I just want to see how this plays out.
I go over
Dr. C is watching carefully.
to the coffin. No, I don't know if this will work like the tails, but might as well. Then I
You have to
lean
put
in.
your heart into it.
Yeah, I lean in and I plant a big whiskery kiss on the mouth of the old Dr. C.
You sort of stand up. Everyone like watches to see what will happen, and after a moment, the older Doctor C stirs and eyes flutter open.
I told you it would work.
Starts to sort of sit himself up inside the coffin, coughing a little. Says he looks Bear in the eye and he says, "I've waited a long time for that."
Oh.
And he'll sort of take in the scene. He'll look around actually at the three of you, Bear and Fadim and Maeve, and say, I didn't know if I would ever see the three of you again after we all left the future together. Thank you. I don't have much time now. I'll finally go to my rest. Is there? How is it? Is it working?
You're muted, Lowell.
I say yes before anybody else can say no or hesitate or anything. Yes.
It's going to work.
And Dr. C, the young Dr. C, has his like feet, hands in his chin in his hands, and he's like, "Wait, but you're my gift. You just got here. You can't leave."
Says it's been. You'll understand when you're at this end of your life, of our life. It's been a long time.
Doc, do you have any questions?
He goes over and he whispers in old Dr. C's ear. It's like, "Is Bear my true love?"
I think he'll chuckle gently and he'll say, "I have lived now for over 1,000 years, and all I can say is that time goes by so very quickly, and you should not let it go to waste." And he looks again at Bear and smiles, and then he slowly, quietly, gently passes away.
That's a lot for Dr. C to see. I think there's some emotion coming up for Dr. C and he starts crying.
Let's I'll kind of put my hand on his shoulder and I'll say, "Alonso, we should go."
Oh, okay. This was a very sad gift. I do not like the Fairy Queen's gifts. And he lets himself be led away by Fadim.
Nice.
Bear, how are you feeling?
Ugh.
All
I think Bear's been so punchy, and like, we're starting up the crew again, and he's like been quickly trying to forget those things. And I think seeing that vision of and the older Dr. C brought him right back to the end. And so I think he spares a long last look and closes his eyelids, and kisses his forehead and walks out. But yeah, I think he's feeling apocalyptic.
And Maeve, what about you? Are you the last one lingering in the caravan as they all leave?
Don't forget to close the coffin.
Yeah, I'll close it and bring up the rear, just trying to figure out what's going on.
Out of respect.
All right. Well, I think that is a good note for us to finish on. But before we wrap the event, I would like to offer a compel to Fadim. If you take the compel, the fate point will carry over to the next session. So you'll start with an extra one because you're not going to get to use it today.
That's juicy.
Um,
It's going to be really bad.
Well, there would be no point offering a compel if you weren't going to get to use the fate point at all. So I'd like to compel your seeking revenge, not salvation aspect, because your plan was to throw that bucket of concrete and red shoes into the sea. But there's a story about, the earliest versions of Snow White, the evil queen is destroyed when she's forced to put on a pair of terrible shoes. And now you have a pair of terrible shoes. Are you really going to get rid of them?
Yeah, I think, at least for the moment, like all that discussion about throwing in the bay was kind of in passing, kind of casual. I think in the wake of the whole Bear Dr. C thing, I'm just going to kind of sit on that, and then like if it comes up, I'll say we'll talk about this later. We may need to use those as a weapon, but I think we should at least dispose of them somewhere that we may be able to have an eye on them. So I think we have to take them back with us.
All right. Awesome. So are people happy if we wrap that event there and we'll move on to adjusting the timeline?
Yeah. All
right. So jump on over to that timeline track tab. You have 2 ripples to apply. The Queen has 1 ripple to apply. Now, relevantly here, last time you applied your positive ripple to the rise of the Fairy Queen. You can't apply a second ripple to that until you've distributed ripples to all the other events that still remain. So basically, you're going to have to apply 1 each of those ripples to the Wild Hunt and A Midsummer Night's Dream, because they're the only other events you haven't used. So you can choose where you want to put the ripple on one of those. Do you want to think about which one you're going to do first before you decide where to put your ripples? I guess it doesn't really matter.
I'd like to suggest, if I may, and then you all can, if we've got 2 ripples, I'd like to put one of them on the Grimm Brothers manuscript, turn it to a positive, because that might be like, if we can get a hold of the manuscript, the idea that it might be something we might be able to use for ourselves, rather than it being an object of the Fairy Queen's thing, but something that we can use against her. Does that sound cool?
That sounds like a good idea
That's
to
very
me.
cool.
Okay, so let's spend 1 ripple there.
Great.
And then wherever you want to spend the other ripple on the Wild Hunt.
You can bring, you've got a neutral person. You could bring that up to a useful ally, or you could turn one of those negatives into a neutral.
I kind of want to make the Owl's Head Devil neutral, just because I claim to work for him in a past.
That's what I wanted to do too.
He could be interested in us because we like maybe made his name more prestigious in the fairy ranks or something.
Everyone thinks that he killed Cochet.
All right, and let's see. I have 1 ripple for the Queen to put somewhere. I think I'm not sure. What makes sense? I think that I'm going to use it to adjust the still unknown person in the wild hunt to be more hostile to you. So that's where I'm going to put my ripple.
We-
And that brings us to the question: next session, are we going to head to the wild hunt or a Midsummer Night's Dream?
Lo, you're muted.
From a purely mechanical standpoint, I would suggest we do a Midsummer's Night's Dream because we've got a little more edge there. And then maybe if we get some ripples, we might be able to apply those to the wild hunt and to the queen. Like if we really lean into that.
We have to fly through JFK anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. A Midsummer Night's Dream next week. That sounds great. I am going to end the recording and then we'll do some stars and wishes, if that's okay with
Okay.
everyone.